This is for my module Applied Principles in Teaching Physical Education. So basically just on the placement, sort of come here to get experience of what it would actually be like as a PE teacher. So talk about what it entailed, the key experiences and planning and delivering, and also what teaching styles using Kolb's learning matrix and Mostyn Ashworth's teaching styles. So basic, just a quick overview. So teaching physical education in secondary school to years 7 to 11. A range of different sports and activities. So we've done like rounders, athletics, football, Aussie rules, cricket, stuff like that. So gain experiences of problems you'd face. It's like people not having kit, injuries, other stuff like that. So main experiences with years 7 and 9. So like I've been coming in on a Wednesday doing year 7 and 9.
You met Kieran Burgess.
Kieran Burgess as well. Year 11s, I've done year 11 a few times. GCSE moderation day as well. That was a big experience for me.
Moderation week as well.
Yeah. Extracurricular activities as well. So like after school with badminton, volleyball, stuff like that. So there's like a list of things we've done after school. There should have been football tonight, but that has been cancelled. So, and also working with SEN. So there's like 2 in year 9, one with autism. So like learning, getting experience of working with them. So like the types of things you do to get them involved in the lesson as well.
Sometimes quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah. So GCSE moderation day, they looked at football, circuit training, rounds and rugby. I didn't really do any teaching that day, but it was just sort of getting an experience of what it would actually be like. So organising equipment, setting up, and I actually got involved in one of the lessons, rounders.
You refereed the football as well?
Refereed the football as well, yeah. So.
That was on you, that.
Free referee.
So there's things to consider when designing a lesson plan. So like the age, the year, the ability, so if the top or bottom set, health and safety, and how will you progress the lesson. Basic things like health and safety and stuff, depends if they can change if you're inside, outside, depending on weather, stuff like that. Inside would mainly be like falling over things, trip hazards and stuff. An example of the first example was a year 11 GCSE lesson on agencies and structures, which we did a team teach. So we took like some of the lesson each, talking about funding governing bodies and agencies. So Sport England, Sport UK, and county affairs and stuff like that. So we used like our experiences to talk about that, and then see what the pupils thought about it. So we got pupil feedback.
What did you think? Do we ask you questions?
Yes,
as well?
yeah.
What did you think of the pupils in their lessons? Do you think what was your impact on them, do you think?
Because I was speaking about what I've done, they sort of got an understanding of what they actually do, and then they can relate to it when we was asking them questions.
It's different than just speaking out of a book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something different.
So we was like we did a team teach, so it was like a brief introduction, and then it was mainly discussions between each other, and then they fed back what they thought it was. So the Mostyn Ashworth teaching styles, so it was like reciprocal and guided discovery, so we sort of pushed them down the path of what we wanted to get out of them. And it was like diverging, and we wanted them to be creative and stuff as well, so we give them scenarios and they'd try and solve them, and if like they was going off track, we'd bring them back in and stuff. Another example was Aussie rules with year 9s. It was bottom set, but we was looking at how they could create space in attacking situations. We was encouraging pupils on how they, like, feedback how they could improve, so what would happen if they made space, stuff like that, and how you defend against that.
How did your role differ in a year 9 lesson compared to a year 11 lesson, man? What did you think?
I think like year 9's much more hands-on. Like mess around a little bit more. But if you tell them, like, talk to them a little bit more, you can get more out of them during the lesson.
What do you think about any sort of differentiation tactics that Sir used? Did he use anything like that in the lesson?
There was like 2 pitches, so like equal teams as well. I think there was like, I can't remember how many was on the team, but there was like 4 teams and it was like a round.
Maybe like 6 aside, I think, wasn't it?
So why do you think Sir would have used that smaller sided games?
So that there's more chance for him to be involved, not just standing around.
Do you notice that?
Also, the better players in the teams would, like, if there's bigger teams, the better players would, like, just play the game, and the less ones would sort of hide it in the corner.
You tend to find the better players take the charge, don't they?
Yeah.
So with it being split, there wasn't much of that. You still get leaders, wouldn't you? Even you're always going to get leaders in life, but there wasn't people dominated, was there? As such, it was
everyone had an equal opportunity to take part in what was going on.
And you can condition that so that everyone's got to touch the ball before they can score and stuff like that. So
Definitely.
So everyone can be involved.
Yep.
So there's 4 different teams, as you said, the 2 pitches. There was an emphasis on finding space. Like at first we just let them play, see what they did, and then we brought them in and, like, said, they was all huddled up in a corner at one point, so we told them to spread out, use the space.
With that, when we let them play first, and then, why do you think we let them play first, then teach after? Why not teach first, play, teach, play?
You can, like, they can see where they're going wrong. You can ask them what they think they're doing wrong as well.
Yeah.
So, like, we was asking questions like, how would you use the space if you had space? So, like we said, it was all in one half at one point. So, if they spread out into different positions, they'd have to mark each other.
They got that experience from doing, haven't they? Which relates to your Colbs thing, which is, I'm not plan do review, but they don't do.
It's very it's very similar. It's like whole plan do review, isn't it?
That's good.
So again, it was sort of discovery learning. Let them figure it out for themselves and give us feedback on what they thought. And you're accommodating for all different abilities as well, with, like, the teams, like we said. Everyone's involved and encouraged to remain within the limits of the learning objectives, like, which was finding space and using it effectively. So, just a little summary, is, like, developed a lot of confidence in delivering sessions. I've not really done anything like this before, so for me to do it has been good. Experienced learning all the year groups in a secondary school, so I'm looking to go into a secondary school anyway, but like, to do GCSE practical and theory has been a big thing. Like GCSE moderation day as well. Extracurricular, with different things on extracurricular, so like badminton, volleyball, and then we were going to do football as well, so that's been good. And it's like the type of teaching that I want to go into, so secondary school. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got one.
Go on,
I'm guessing you'll have one as well. Right, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but it's going to be, not the easiest question, but after your experience, what would you say you need the most as a quality as a teacher? What's the most important quality you think? Now, I think that each teacher will tell you something different, so there's no right or wrong answer for me for this, but what do you think?
To be engaging with the pupils, so they're not coming in and you can have a good relationship with them, but
Definitely, yeah.
but a professional one, so you're not like best mates with them, but you can talk to them and like make it more enjoyable that way. So they respond better in the lessons and stuff.
Think about that, what you said there. I think that's a good one to set, because if you didn't engage, if you couldn't engage with them, if you could have the best lesson plans in the world, if you can't engage with them kids, how can you deliver your lesson? You can't. It's a fundamental thing, isn't it?
Square one, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a basic. Once you picked up on a good one there. Anything that's it?
I've lost my question.
For me, no. I'm going to ask you, I mean, if you want me to ask you another one after it, I will do more related to teaching practice, but I want to ask you more about the lifestyle of a teacher. Do you think that the lifestyle you lead at the moment would suit a teaching lifestyle, and what do you think you might need to do to get there, or to keep going towards it?
From the placement, I'd say like I've not had much experience of it because it's been one day, but like sort of if I was to do it every day, I think I'd be alright, because like can put in the work and stuff like lesson plans and stuff like that, but like I keep up to date with all football and stuff like that. So
I'll say one thing: you're very organised.
Yeah.
Definitely very organised.
What about the? Obviously, you know, me and Sir talk about us being your actors. Yeah, you walk into our office with different people when we go into the changing rooms with the kids and stuff like that. Was that a surprise to you when you came to school or not?
Yeah, because you only see like from when I've been in school, like the one side of being a teacher, so like the teacher at the front telling you what to do and stuff like that, but to be on the other side actually teaching a lesson, you don't see what goes on like out of the lesson. So it's been good to see that, and like what goes on at dinner time, break time, stuff like that, and after school.
So I think with this placement then, right, and this might be something for your academic study at some point, you've realised there's different lenses in things, yeah? You've only ever seen teaching, and most people only ever get into teaching at first because they've seen it through the lens of the pupils, yeah, the pupils' eyes. You've had an opportunity now to see it through the second lens, which is a teacher's eyes, but then there's a third lens which you might have seen at some points and stuff like that, which is through maybe parents' eyes, and even like head teachers and governors who don't see it, you might see the odd bit of a lesson and stuff like that. I think that's something when you're getting into your teaching. You know, there are if you can step back and think, you know, when you reflect on your teaching practice, what do the pupils think? What do the teachers think? What do other people outside think? If you get all them three things in there, I think there's a structure that I can't remember what it is. Can't remember the name of it.
One thing for me is if you've come into this placement and then you understand how it works. So for example, I've got period 3, I've had an absolute nightmare, but then period 4, I can't show that in that lesson. And you understand exactly what that's all about, and you're still happy to go on with it and carry on with your teaching, then it pretty much tells you what you want to do in life.
I think with what you were saying as well, you can take that into your lessons, so you plan it so that everyone's happy, you can accommodate for everything.
So one other thing is adaptability, which is what you're saying there, is accommodating everyone, and you've got to be, well, you know, you've seen it, if it starts raining, or if you've got girls and boys in PE and so they want to use certain facilities and you can't use them and you've got to make a quick change, so there's all that side to it. But I mean, like you said, for me, you've seen it all and you know what it's all about now.
So
Ending video.